Have you ever had a job where whenever you went to the job, you were so excited because your team was amazing? Y'all just clicked, and it was really because that one person who has all the energy, very bubbly. I mean, y'all are working, it's hard work, but it doesn't feel like hard work because that person is constantly keeping you going, keeping you motivated, literally trying to drag everybody to the finish line, whether you like it or not. You might be working with a high I. There are three main characteristics I want to talk about as it relates to having a high I as a team member. First of all, they're super motivating. I mean, they just know how to put that fire under everyone. They have a new project. Come on, guys, let's get on board. They're able to get that investment. They're able to get that buy-in so that the team actually feels like a team and wants to get the job done. Number two, they know how to build relationships. They know how to make connections. They make you feel seen. They make you feel heard. That's why the working environment seems so much more enjoyable, because they're connecting with you. They're relatable. They make you feel like you've known them all your life. And as a result, you don't mind working with them. Not only that, they will even connect you with other team members who you may have not wanted to work with before, but they just have that superpower to be able to get everyone to work together in synergy. The third thing about a high I is they're extremely creative. They tend to think out of the box. They're forward thinking. They think about things that you would have never thought of before, and they have the ability to convince you to move in that direction. Now, as I've told you before, when it comes to the DISC assessment, whether you're a D, a I, a S, or a C, it doesn't mean it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing if you're a high I or a low I. You just want to make sure that you're showing up in the most authentic and mature version of that particular assessment. Now, when you don't tend to show up like that, you have these blind spots, and we all have them. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a negative thing. It just means you just don't see it because you're not quite wired that way. Now I'm going to talk about three main blind spots of a high I as a team member. The first blind spot is overlooking details. Now remember what I said, that high I is going to motivate, they're going to build relationships, they're going to be very creative, they're going to move that team, but sometimes they might be moving so fast that they miss critical details in that movement that cause the job to either not be done incorrectly, or you don't meet that deadline that you should have met because that high I was moving that team so quickly. The second blind spot that you might see in a high I is struggling with accountability. Remember, high I's are people. They love to interact with people, which means they also want to be accepted and loved by people. So sometimes they might have a hard time with holding other people accountable. Actually having those critical conversations when conflicts arise, they might actually shy away from it because they still want to be liked. Sometimes if you have a high I on your team, sometimes you might actually see that they're actually overcommitting, making promises that they actually cannot keep, but they don't want to disappoint anyone. So they make the commitment, they motivate themselves to believe that they can do it. However, that blind spot actually keeps them from seeing, you know what, I may have overcommitted myself. So sometimes they tend to start feeling bad because they might disappoint their team members. The third blind spot of a high I is they have trouble receiving criticism. So oftentimes a high I will take it personally when they feel like they're being criticized. As a result of them taking it personally, that blind spot can hinder them from actually growing from that constructive feedback. Now, as you think about the different characteristics of a high I as a team member, I want you to think, does that sound like you? Does that align with you? If you want to know more, reach out to me, Rachel Rogers. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok at Rachel Empowers, YouTube at Rachel Empowers, because I am here to help empower you to live your best life and to have the best relationships, both personal and professional. And don't forget, be real, be relevant, empowering, authentic, and life-changing.